Okay, so now the mic's working fine. Seems to be working fine. Anyway, it seems it's working now. Hey guys, welcome to a OBS disconnect reconnect. Bullocks. Hey guys, welcome to a Vanishing Gates After Hours. I am your host Jay, and this is finally
the returning Jack.
Yeah, he was not able to be on the earlier show, but he is here now, and that's what's important, isn't it?
Is it?
Sunshine Daydream, you tell me.
Well,
what, you get like a job to do and crap? Like,
yeah, I started at 10 and I just got off, so I've been at
nobody
work for
needs
10 hours.
money.
That's nice.
Money's lame, right? Nobody wants that.
Yeah,
Have you ever thought about being a man whore, like a prostitute, a male prostitute?
It crossed my mind. But I was sitting there thinking to myself, just, it seems like a little bit of work.
Alright, so you weren't here, but earlier we had the Dennis from the Toledo Spirit Hunters on. They're doing their Mansfield Firehouse investigation in Mansfield, Ohio. And we had audio problems up the bum. It was ridiculous. I couldn't get anything to work. I did sound checks. I did tests for everything an hour before the show. And as soon as we go live, the mic cuts out.
Oh, you buy a cheap mic, that's what happens.
No, I mean, it's not even that. It wasn't just the mic. It was I have an amplifier hooked to the phone so I can make the phone call. That didn't work.
Might be overloading the computer.
No, well, it's probably overloading the computer, but that's not the point. The amp should still work. The amp wasn't even working.
That's a good point.
You little speculative bastard, you.
Yep.
I don't believe in cars. So, guys, again, we have no idea where Paco is. He is missing.
Presumed dead. Tell us, keep going.
Presumed dead. Presumed hungover. But no, so Jack's back. We figured do a little Vanishing Gates After Hours thing. Don't forget to check out Dennis's Toledo Spirit Hunters page.
Yeah, take a look.
I tried to share his live. Yeah, he's still live. I tried to
out.
share it. I tried to share his live stream. Couldn't share it on the page.
Yeah, it just sounds like an internet problem, really, at that point.
It's ghosts.
It's all
Obviously
ghosts.
Bigfoot.
It's aliens. It's extraterrestrials.
Something's up, though, guys. Something's
ley
up.
lines.
Ley lines? Getting laid lines.
It's that guy Steve from accounting. Nobody likes Steve from accounting.
Is there a Steve from accounting where you work?
Nope.
Do you have an accounting department where you work?
Probably.
I don't.
This is an awful lot like lighter fuel because I was not paying attention to what
You were
doing.
not paying attention to that jet ladder. I tried to warn you. You didn't listen. So let's talk about something. What do you want to talk about, Jack? Now that you're back.
This is gross.
Captain Jack. You want another stogie? Want a different one?
Yes.
I'm going to waste all my cigars.
No, thank you, cigar. No, thank you. This is why I use wooden matches. Do you have wooden matches? I brought some last time.
No, if you're smart enough to use a jet lighter, you don't taste the fuel. You just don't let it pump into your freaking stogie.
What?
I can't use a child cutter, and I can't use a lighter.
Where are the wooden matches I brought last time, you complainer?
I have no idea. I didn't see wooden matches last time.
What about those right up there?
What?
Underneath that yarn.
Those aren't wooden?
Got a random fucking ball of yarn.
Who doesn't? Paper matches. It's not wooden matches. What's wrong with you? Nice hickory matches. What do you think this is?
You're right.
Alcatraz?
You're right. They're paper matches, and everybody knows paper is not made out of wood.
Touche, sir. Touche. You might have won that round. Because technically, paper and wood are the same damn thing. All right, so now that we're here, do you want to talk about like barefoot, Bigfoot, not barefoot, ghost, the paranormal?
Let's talk about the fact that I saw
Elvis in a UFO. Please don't sue us, Ray Stevens. I love you.
Ow. Very so.
Oh, guess what? I have a tooth infection. I have an infected tooth. It's great. It's cracked. It's infected. Probably needs to be extracted. I thought about mainlining a bunch of whiskey and yanking that out myself, but then I realized I have health insurance that covers dental, so I didn't do that. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that.
I just
Burnt yourself at the match?
Ember that went right onto my finger and I didn't get it in time.
I remember my first cigar.
You know what? Shut up. Yeah, I just spit. Congratulations to me.
Will you stop spitting on my floor?
I don't have a drink.
Spit in a cup. Don't spit on the floor.
Floor cement. I just burned myself. I'm suing you.
You can't sue me.
Suing Vanishing Gates.
You can't sue Vanishing Gates.
So,
LLC.
this actually reminds me of something. These matches being paper. This is something funny that reminds me of, that you reminded me of. When I was growing up, I was 13, and I saw a protest, because we had lumber mills around here. And people were protesting. My favorite thing was that all of these people were protesting the lumber mill because it destroyed trees. And people were protesting using cardboard signs that they had written up. It said, "Stop killing the trees." And I'm just sitting there thinking, at 13 years old, why are these guys who are trying to stop the killing of trees using tree or paper products which are created by trees to then fight the power that does create or makes those signs? I'm confused. I'm just a question I've always had with people. No.
I mean,
Stop it.
I guess it's a legitimate argument, technically. What are they going to write it on human flesh?
No, maybe
Are
they
you
just shout it a
suggesting
lot.
they should skin children
Maybe
and use
they
their
just
skin
maybe
and
use their
tattoo the skin with their
voices.
signs?
If someone can read your sign, someone
What about
can
deaf
hear
people?
your voice.
What about people that can't hear? Well, we should add closed captioning to the show, shouldn't we?
We should probably get a sign or two.
So there's a
like
health
those
fair
people
at the
should.
mall today. I was there.
I know.
It was a health fair at the mall. Because in Humboldt County, we have fairs
For health.
for health, but there's no rides. There was a big walk through colon, though. That was kind of...
Usually I have a giant walk-through vagina.
It's usually a heart. You just don't know the difference.
Who cares? Anyways. So...
It was fun walking through the colon and seeing the polyps on the wall. I'm like, oh, I got those removed. And the chick at the end of it's like, well, did you get screened? I'm like, well, no, they removed the polyps. Why did you get screened? Well, it could be cancerous. Well, they didn't call me back. They said they'd call me if it was cancerous. She's like, oh, you should get that checked in another couple of years. I'm like, they told me I didn't have to. She's like, well, they probably meant 5 years. I'm like, what?
They're probably like most
You're
doctors.
okay. Come back in 5 years. That's
Every
not what
doctor...
was
Okay,
said.
so this is my theory on every doctor I've ever had. And this is not related to all doctors. This is related to a certain type of ER doctor I've always gotten. And it's one doctor. One. I need to misnumber what I said. It's one doctor that works in the ER. This is not all doctors.
Just an individual. This is one individual.
One individual. And every
the one
time
with
I've
cowboy
seen
boots?
him... No.
Oh.
Every time I've seen him, there's nothing wrong with me. I went in, my ear was killing me. I had a throat problem. I was coughing horribly. And what did they tell me? It's all in your head.
I mean,
That was his excuse. It's in my head.
Technically, it is literally all in your head. Maybe he was just giving a direct prognosis.
No, here's
It
the
was a
thing.
direct diagnosis. It's literally just your head's fucked up.
They did tests, and they didn't find anything. I'm hurting, though. And I'm just sitting there realizing, they don't know anything about the human body.
Well, I'm sure they do.
They know what, like, they know that the thigh bone connects to the knee bone or something. I mean, that's what they know.
That's
But
what you... Oh
they
my
can't
God.
answer all the questions you think they can.
Okay, they're not psychic. They don't have a rechargeable crystal ball. They're doctors. They have to
No.
work on
But
ideas
what
of
I'm
what they
saying
know about
is-
the human body. Are
What
you
I'm
on
saying,
all
no,
the crack
hold on.
cocaine
What
right
I'm
now?
saying is, and I know I should have prefaced with this. In the ER,
Uh-huh.
it just seems like in the ER particularly, they have very little knowledge of what you're doing because it's a factory. They just put you in, and then they're like, well, can't find anything. Get the fuck out.
No, the problem is people go to the ER with things like, I have an ear infection. I have a toothache. My eye hurts. Not, I have a knife sticking out of it. The ER is an emergency room.
Well, I couldn't get into my doctor, is why.
Well, then go to freaking urgent care. There's an urgent care thing, too. You can go there and do that.
I didn't know that.
So I have a tooth infection.
Actually, no, I did know
Okay,
that.
so I have a cracked tooth and a tooth infection. It stopped hurting today because I found some amoxicillin I had from back in the day when I had an ear infection. So I took some amoxicillin, and like 4 hours later, 2 treatments in, I'm feeling really good right now. My tooth doesn't hurt anymore. So now I'm thinking what I should do is take 3 or 4 shots of whiskey, get my pliers and just yank that sumbitch out.
You know they have to seal it, right? So you don't leave teeth.
They don't
leave part of
seal
the
it.
tooth behind.
No, they dig the teeth part. There's chunks of teeth left. They dig it up. There's no chunks left. It's just I have a cracked tooth. I can pull the whole thing out and then eventually maybe work it out with my tongue if there's anything left.
Well, because I got a broken tooth up here.
Well,
that I can't. That it's folded over. The skin's healed over it.
Oh, see, mine's not. Mine's
I
just
have
cracked.
to. Yeah.
I got sucker
I have
punched.
to go get the.
I got punched and it cracked a wisdom tooth and a molar. And when I had the wisdom tooth extracted from when it got cracked, the doctor's like, well, I don't want to pull that out because your teeth will grind unevenly on the top. I'm like, well, why don't we just pull them out and give me dentures so I can have nice straight teeth? I really want those like titanium. I'm just going to redo all of it.
I'm going to get ones like Jaws.
I'm just going to get grills, solid gold and platinum with diamond studs in them. Does that make me attractive?
Steel.
Titanium, bro. Titanium is the way to go. Those implants, they get in there, put a little peg in there, and they make a nice little enamel tooth around it. Looks good. Sexy.
I don't think so.
I think it's good. So what's your favorite video game right now that's new? Because I played Monster Hunter World. You want to do an after-hour show. After hours is us BSing like crazy. So I played Monster Hunter World.
Well, I haven't done anything.
Because our brother brought it over. I know you have it because your play share partners with him.
Yeah.
But he hooked up his hard drive. He's actually here in the house, outside the studio. I didn't invite him out because he smells bad. Love you. But no, he brought it and hooked his hard drive up, and I played Monster Hunter World. It took me. I live streamed it. I put it on Beam, or no, not Beam anymore. It's Mixer for Xbox.
Don't even talk to me about live streaming right now.
Well, I live streamed it, and it took me 70 minutes to get through. Will you stop spitting on the floor of my studio?
Nope.
Please stop spitting on the floor. I have to actually mop this son of a bitch.
Good. It'll make you mop it now.
I'm gonna cut
mop it real
so
good.
much of your soul out of you. So, anyway, playing Monster Hunter World. 70 minutes to get through the fucking intro of that game. The entire plot line, I mean, it's not a bad idea for a game. The plot line is juvenile. It's made for children. The controls are made for master fucking computer programmers.
Okay, so
it's not user friendly. It's like if you try to dial 911, but you had to dial 25 ampersands beforehand and 2 tildes.
What's it?
What's a tilde? You know what I mean? Like, it's the same shit.
Look, you just hate the game because you're not good at it.
No, I didn't. I hated the game because it was garbage. It's too hard to play. I don't play games because they're fucking hard to play.
I had the worst freaking night with Call of Duty last night. The worst one. I was playing, and I'm like ready to kick ass.
And she didn't even call you back.
And it didn't occur because I
didn't get a booty call.
I was getting my ass handed to me. All like, just the worst. Like 14 and 16.
Dominatrix of duty. Was it safe for
Fucking
banana?
8 and 12 or 17, and
Dude,
then
it's
finally
such a
got 31
broken
and
game.
16 or 31 and
You're
14.
talking about World War II?
Yeah,
Such a broken ass
31
game,
and 14, and I'm just sitting there like, holy crap! I finally got a good game, and then I played again, got my ass kicked immediately, and then it occurred to me, I was live streaming, and then my wife was downloading updates on her phone, her iPhone at the same time, and her iPhone for whatever reason eats all the bandwidth. If an iPhone is on your wireless, it's eating everything on your bandwidth.
Because it's hungry.
I have no idea why.
Because it's hungry.
And so it sucked up all the bandwidth, so I didn't realize I was lagging.
Because I think iPhones actually, like their operating system is just number munchers.
Well, you know what's sad?
It
was like, what I pointed out while I was playing all night was that the enemy teams that were playing, or the enemy teams that I was playing, sucked. They were all bad. None of them were good. Most of them were campers. They were just sitting there doing nothing. They were just waiting around corners. That's it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, there's easy rounds. You know, you can fight that easily if you're good enough, which I am. But I realized, like, after a while, why am I not killing these guys? I'm shooting them. I know I'm hitting them first. And then finally, like, just before I shut off the live stream, I was like, I'm lagging. Because I shot a dude, and then he hit me. And then one guy hit me before I came around the corner. And it finally occurred to me that I was lagging. And that would be the problem. And I was still doing pretty shitty.
Their servers are garbage. Call of Duty World War II servers, you'd think they'd have enough money. They sold so many of these games the servers could work. No, they don't. It's a garbage game. It should have been the good game. It should have been the saving grace for Call of Duty. I didn't even get through the fucking storyline, which is what I like the most about video games.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
I've been bombing Assassin's Creed, though. Have you played it?
No.
Dude, you
that
should.
game sucked.
No, it's great. Origins is awesome. The storyline's good. Now, I'll give you this. Okay, so it's definitely a hack and slash kind of game. There's a ton of stealth, though, and the stealth parts, you have to be precise. That said, if a guy can shoot me from 195 meters away with an arrow, and I can't hit him from 10 away, maybe some programming issues.
I'm just going to point out an issue with your stealthy preciseness. The first guy I had to kill in the first area, I was supposed to sneak into his fortress and stab him stealthily. I ran over the wall, jumped over a roof, landed right in front of him and his men, stabbed him in the gut, and finished the mission instantly.
Yes.
That's how stealthy I had to be.
That's the whole point of that first mission.
Everybody saw me, and I just went right through and stabbed him.
That's the whole point of the first mission. It actually gets more difficult from there. It's the build-up of the entire storyline. Okay, so my history of Assassin's Creed isn't great. Like, I played the first game. It was okay. And okay, guys, if you're just joining us now, Jack's finally here. We're doing an after hours. We're going to touch base with Dennis from Toledo Spirit Hunters tomorrow and do a recorded episode that we will release later in the week to talk about his investigation, which is live. I tried to share his live stream and I could not. I don't know why. But so my whole history with the whole Assassin's Creed series, I played the first game for a while. It was okay. And then I played Black Flag for maybe like 5 minutes.
Love Black Flag. Great game.
I have it. I played it for like 5 minutes and then I went back to Destiny.
It's a good game.
Which I am now over.
Wait, why are you over Destiny? Wait, what happened? What happened to the greatness?
Oh, reskins and blah. Hey, for what it was a great game. But they could have done better.
So what you're saying is all the complaining that I've been doing about how shitty it is and just a cash grab and how it's literally the worst game ever was right?
No. It's still good. Right. I'm just over it. I'm tired of it right now. Even Iron Banner. Let's go do Iron Banner and get reskinned guns that are already in the game. Say Iron Banner on them. Fucking, like, I played the game, hadn't played in a while, and I'm getting killed by people that have no skill. And you can tell when they have no skill because they have no skill.
Yeah, well, that's obvious. They have no skill.
Yeah, because they're killing me. If you kill me, you clearly don't have any skill. Because I suck.
Look.
It's a joke.
So, that's the difference between you and me.
You like to eat food?
No.
I like to eat food, too.
Man, I'm still pissed about that. I'm so pissed about last night, though, that live stream. I was, like, the first live stream I did, I had, like, 3 or 4 games where I went 31.
So you are live streaming?
And under that, yeah, I am live
on the K station?
I do. On the PlayStation?
Yeah, the PlayStation 4?
The better system than the
Happy
one
Station?
you play?
Oh, the PlayStation.
The much better system.
The Sony one.
The much better one.
Oh, okay, the Walkman.
No.
So you're playing on the you're live streaming the Walkman. Okay,
no,
cool.
I'm playing on the PlayStation.
Okay, so why don't you tell them where they can follow
right
you?
next
so
to the giant world-ending VCR that you could kill an entire planet with.
So why don't you tell them why what your stream is and whatnot, how they can follow you so they can live stream with you and chat with you if they have.
I have no idea.
You don't know what you're.
I just logged in Twitch one day and I forgot all about it, and I just keep logging into Twitch. I don't even know if I'm even on the stream, to be honest.
So you're not really Are you?
Oh, I'm Twitch
on
streaming.
Vanishing Gates?
Twitch streaming. My Jack Temple account is logged in to or my account is logged into.
Are you doing the Vanishing Gates one?
It should be, yes.
Okay.
That account is not logged into anything else. So.
Okay. So heads up, by the way, we are redoing the website here pretty soon for Vanishing Gates. We're gonna try to upgrade things and add things, and we're gonna try to actually make it up to date and pretty and nice.
Icky.
So if you guys have any ideas what we can do to better the website or anything you'd like to see on there, you know, what am I trying to say here?
Any ideas?
Options,
anything you want to see?
Yeah, like
any pictures,
commentary
things
stuff,
like that. What you'd like us to
anything
upload?
like that.
Ideas for like blogs, forum chats. Just let us know if you'd like to see a forum up there. Maybe you can join one. We start blog spots. Anything we can like link to our site. Blog. I work 10 hours. Give me a break. And I had like 3 hours of sleep. So shut up.
You've had more sleep than I have in 3 days in 3 hours.
Good.
Apparently I might have some kind of sleep disorder. It turns out.
Yeah, I do too. So.
I was talking to somebody at the health fair. They're like,
Man,
yeah. However, I'm like, well, I wake up at 3 o'clock every single morning. I'm super light sleeper, and then I wake up again at 5 o'clock at very latest, maybe 6. And they're like, well, how many hours do you think you go to sleep a night? I'm like, probably a solid 3.
I can get 8.
Yeah, you need to get a sleep study done.
If I actually wanted to sleep, they wanted me to do a sleep study, but it occurred to me what I told them was skewed because I was ill when I told them what was wrong with me. Because I was having problems, like I was waking up with unable to breathe, but I was having respiratory issues because I was sick. and it was making it hard to breathe because I was laying on my back.
You're a back sleeper. Don't sleep on your back.
No, I don't sleep on my back. But what I was doing was I would fall asleep on my back by accident.
Well, hey, we can actually go into we can go into the paranormal stuff. We talked about this before too. The back sleeping, the hypnagogic, hypnopompic stage, and the night terrors, and the old hag syndrome and whatnot. Sleep paralysis. That's a back sleep issue. I have the same problem. If I sleep on my back, I have sleep paralysis that goes on. Now, guys, there is a chemical in your brain that pumps in money.
Keep going.
Are you dead? Thank you for not doing that on the floor. Anyway, so Bridget, you're in chat. You're a doc. You should know this. Your brain actually releases an anesthetic. I know, probably not. But your brain releases an anesthetic that causes you to go numb. That's why you get groggy when you wake up and stuff. But that also leads to sleep paralysis. And when you sleep on your back,
it makes me think my body hates me.
Well, it's harder for you to slip out of the into and out of the hypnagogic and hypnopompic and back into being awake. One is when you're going into deep sleep, into that REM, and the other one's when you're waking up. So what I found is when I'm sleeping on my back, you start panicking. Your brain starts panicking. So you have night terrors and nightmares, and you see things that aren't there in your head. You have these visions of things pushing down on you. Because your body's trying to save itself, even though you're...
You know what I do want to talk about, actually?
What?
Aside from that? The flu virus.
Why?
This flu epidemic has made me a believer that flu shots are bad for you. Not that they're... No, hold on. I take that back. I'm a little tired, so I'm going to step back. Not that they're bad for you. They are a good idea. Vaccines are a good idea. Learning how to fight things is a great idea, especially with people who can't survive these when they're
That's why I like martial arts.
Or they're weaker. Well, they're younger, they're weaker.
That's why I fight people in walkers and wheelchairs.
They don't have the immunities. These things are great. I disagree with them for people who have great immunities. I think that they should continue to build their immunity.
Well, okay, so after I had my stomach surgery a couple years ago, I used to never get sick. I'd get sick twice a year, Christmas and Halloween, every year, like clockwork. But I would never get sick aside from that. And then I had my stomach surgery. They drained my stomach. They pumped it out. And because I had to get a colonoscopy, yeah, there was a camera in my bum. And they put one in my throat, too, which is going to turn some of you weirdos on. But they pulled some polyps out, whatever. I had some issues with my guts. They fixed it, supposedly. But after they drained my stomach, I started getting sick more. Because the bacteria in your stomach actually helps your immune system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have natural immunities. Now, the problem, what I fear is that essentially the flu vaccine. Okay, so this year alone, the flu vaccine is working about 10%. I believe is what the last case study said. It's 10% effectiveness. What the flu virus essentially, or the flu vaccine essentially is a dead virus that is. I think
your immune system gets used. All vaccines, your immune system gets used to this thing being this external organism.
Here's the problem. I've always been one about screwing with nature because nature screws with you more. When you fuck with it, it'll mess with you even harder.
Steve Irwin, rest in peace.
Exactly. So my theory...
I'll see an angry flu!
My fear...
Stick my thumb in his arse!
Here's the thing, actually. Bridget could potentially set me to ease with this one. Because I worry about is that, with...
Dude, why does our program keep overloading? I have no idea either.
It hates us.
Encoding overload. Consider turning down? Turn down for what?
Turn down for what?
I don't know. Maybe we'll lower the volume? Maybe that would help.
It's maybe the image quality. It may not be getting a good enough signal from the internet as well.
Oh, bandwidth, maybe.
Yeah, the bandwidth maybe.
Honestly, I think it's the fact that we have...
Do you have anybody playing online inside?
No. I think the problem is we have a year of shows saved on this hard drive.
That might be part of
it. At multiple gigs plus.
Someone like Bridget, anyone who studies microbiology might be able to set me at ease here. But from what I understand, they modify the strain. And they have different strains of the flu, and they modify them. And my fear is that they've modified it so much that it's made it immune to certain things.
Well, okay,
and
that's what happened.
To get worse and worse and worse.
That's what happened with staph infection, MRSA.
MRSA's created by us?
Well, no, MRSA is a staph infection that got resistant to other to the treatments.
Well, that's what makes me worry.
Like I had MRSA when I got stabbed. The doctor didn't wash his hands when he sewed me up.
Oh God.
And so my arm had a really terrible fucking staph infection. It was MRSA. They gave me a little sort of antibiotics, What's messed up is when I stopped taking the antibiotics, that's when I got better.
I should preface this once again with stating.
Okay, but the flu is a virus, not a bacterial.
What I want to say to people listening is, don't think I'm being an alarmist and I'm saying, oh God, don't take vaccines, you're going to die. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I have very little understanding of these things. First off, I have no understanding. I'm not a microbiologist. I don't understand how vaccines work, and I'm not even going to pretend slightly I have a clue.
You can barely speak English, guys.
Yes, sometimes you can't do it. But
you can't even cut a cigar properly.
What I worry about, I cut it just fine, thank you. He's the one who cut my first one. Oh, you didn't cut it right. You cut it for me.
Well, it was sitting there for a while, and then you pumped a bunch of fuel into it.
Anyways, don't think for even a second I have any clue of what I'm talking about when it comes to vaccines. But that doesn't mean that I could be wrong, that I'm wrong. I mean, if they do modify the virus, and the virus is getting stronger because it's becoming immune to certain things, and maybe they get a living cell of virus every once in a while in those dead viruses that's been modified now. Right, and now it becomes even stronger.
What if you licked a puddle of virus? Can you do that? Do you think you can get the virus in a puddle? No, just...
I think it needs a living host.
How much virus would there have to be a puddle of virus?
Is that a philosophical question?
Leave that for the philosophizers.
Not a philosophizer or anything here. You know, the thing is, it's like one of the biggest problems I have is people who are alarmists about like vaccines. So that's why I'm saying this now, is because while I disagree with vaccines for me, like I don't want to take them, I don't agree with them. But if you were to ask me, do I think my kids should take them? If they're tested and they're shown to prove to work, then I'm more than okay with it. I mean, if it makes them stronger and it gives them a better chance of life, quality of life, fine. But for me, I have a great immune system. I get sick like once a year, and then I'm fine.
I'm gonna return this letter to the manufacturer and say, "Hey, it's bunk."
Yes, it sucks.
Give me a good one.
You know, I'm fine, and I just don't see a need for it, as I feel I'm strong enough to survive most things.
Have you died of smallpox yet?
I died of smallpox last month, actually, to be honest.
Okay.
I am a ghost, a smallpox ghost, and yeah.
Okay, so I'm not saying vaccines don't work because we're donkulous. I'm just saying that we inoculate ourselves with things and make the strand stronger.
Well, because, you know...
Well, okay, so I talked to a doctor this year because I got the flu pretty bad. I was sick for like 3 weeks. I'm still kind of recovering. That might have been why I had an infection in my tooth, because of all the shit in my system still. They said there's 12 different flus going around in this area alone, and they're all super contagious.
Let's once again preface this once again, that neither of us are scientists. We're not microbiologists.
No, I'm just saying what my doctor told me.
How this works, but this is what we're told, and this is what we understand from what we see.
I'm just saying what the doctor told me.
If you're really afraid, you can look up the information yourself.
People can die from the flu. People have died from the flu.
Over 1,000 people in Louisiana almost have died from the flu this year. 16 children. 30 people in California the past week have died from the flu.
No, I thought the overall count this year was 14.
Mm-hmm. It's 16 children have died now.
We're going to have to get someone from the CDC.
I was looking at something the other day. I was reading something from CNN, I think it was, about 30 people in California having died this week alone.
Well, I mean, more than 30 people died in California today.
You know what?
Not from the flu.
You know what? Because no.
Let's call someone from the CDC. Let's see if we can get someone from the CDC on as a guest on the show and do a talk about sickness and illness and see if we can get everybody safe. Now, guys, we do care a lot about your safety health-wise. As you know, our tech guru, Nick, he has been battling on and off with cancer for fucking ever. You know, he's a strong dude, but it messes your immune system. So we care very deeply about this stuff. Yep. We really care about you guys. We want you to be safe and healthy. If your doctor says get a flu shot, get a fucking flu shot. That's it. If your daughter says, unless your daughter's a doctor. So, Mr. Murphy, if your daughter says get a flu shot, get a flu shot. But no, like, honestly, you never know, because people's body react to different things different ways.
Well,
like, I reacted to Monster Hunter in a different way.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's that. What I was reading correct. Hold on. If what I was reading was correct, is that they're not dying necessarily of the flu. They're dying of like influenza or something like that. It's because it comes back. What's happening is they go home, they take the medication that makes them better, but then when it like comes back, it's like it's
Do
either
you know what influenza is?
I don't know what it was.
The flu.
Oh, well then fuck it. They are dying from the flu. Anyway, so what happens is, and you got to watch out for this, because this is what I'm understanding when I'm reading is, if you have a child or someone who's weak and they get the flu, is essentially they'll feel better, they'll get better for a few days, and then if it comes back, go to the hospital.
Dehydration is number one.
Well, yeah, that's a sign.
No, that's the number one killer You start vomiting, you can't keep fluids in.
Well, hold on. What I was saying,
It goes back to survival. No, it really, like, think about it. It goes back to survival.
Never mind. I'm going to warn you.
You can go back. Just let me finish. There's 3 precedents for survival. Shelter first. Water next.
Shelter second.
And then food after that.
Water first, shelter second.
No,
food.
shelter absolutely first. You can die a few hours of exposure. You can live days without water and weeks without food. But shelter, you need shelter immediately if you're lost.
Water first.
No, shelter first.
Water first.
If you want to die and see Jack, hit me up. I'll refer you to
If
him.
you die from exposure because you went for water first,
If you know someone who's on an
contact
expedition,
us.
squatching, and they die because the first thing they want to do is find water, let me know. I'll refer you to this guy. No, shelter first. You die from exposure fast. Water you can live without for a little bit, not long. Food you can go with a long time without it. My longest fast when I was
What was that? I was reading something actually about that. Keep going, but you finish yours and then I got.
Yeah, so my longest fast was a month without eating in the daytime.
Yeah.
I would eat once every few days, just lettuce.
What was it?
But I would take liquid, but no solids. But I had to have water, or I would have died. Now you can't fast from water for more than a day or two.
I was reading an article about that, and it's not recommended that you fast because it's not exactly good for you per se.
I didn't fast for a reason for it to be good for me. You know what
No, I mean I was talking about something else.
I'm not saying fasting is good for you.
Prefacing what I'm saying, fasting for that kind of a period of time isn't necessarily good for you. But apparently, what it is your body after a while, it feels like you're hungry at the start. You're starving, but after a period of time, your body just gets used to the fact that you're only drinking water, and then it adapts.
I didn't get that way the entire time.
Starving or adapting?
I never felt like I was starving the entire time I fasted.
Well, apparently, from what I read, is your body will actually adapt.
The first. Okay, so the not eating part, because I fasted spiritually. Usually, a fast I would do when I was really involved in ministry would be 2 weeks.
And I would suggest staying active from what I read because your body will start to eat the muscle when you're starving.
No.
Don't you stay active?
No.
Did I misinterpret that?
Okay, so your body when you're so when you go to the gym. If you look at a lot of these protein bars and stuff, they pump you full of protein because what happens is your body wants to eat protein first. It'll eat carbs, and if you're not eating carbs, it eats protein. Well, the protein, your muscles need protein to grow. So what will happen is you first start to atrophy your muscles because your body will start eating the muscle tissue if you don't have something else in there for it to eat. So when you're fasting, you don't want to be super, super active. That's just preposterous. Now, that said... during the time when I was in ministry, when I was fasting 2 weeks at a time here, quite often actually, I would go for 2 weeks without eating any solid food at all. I would just drink water or liquid. I wouldn't have protein shakes or anything. And I would get sick, but I was also working. I'd be doing roofing and stuff, and I feel weak and tired and crap, because the idea is spiritually your body needs to be weaker than your soul. Okay, that's why I was doing that. I don't suggest that. I do, but I don't suggest that.
I believe in dark matter.
Anyway. I don't suggest doing that unless you're on a spiritual binge, in which case do it safely and be careful. Stay hydrated. But if you're being active, it's always good to have a lot of protein and quite a bit of carbs because your body will eat the carbs first if you're super active.
What I was going to finish. Let me finish that thing about the flu.
Okay.
If you have a kid or anybody's weak and they get sick and then they get better, but they start to show symptoms of getting sick again, take them to the hospital. This is a sign that things are getting worse, not better. Because if they get better, but then they start to get worse again, this is when it starts to move towards influenza, is what I've been reading.
Okay, the flu is literally influenza, and honestly,
it starts to move to getting worse, where there's one kid died recently of swelling in the brain and other things, he was vomiting, swelling in the brain, all of a sudden he'd gotten better, and then they went to the hospital, and he wound up becoming brain dead because his brain swelled up from what this was doing.
There's got to be something else there. I think you're being an alarmist. I think there's something else there to have that happen. Because the flu doesn't cause you to swell in your brain. He might have had blood pressure issues, and when he got sick, maybe his blood pressure pushed a clot.
This is apparently, according to the doctor, related to the flu. And this is the same thing that's happened to some other people. So
I don't know. All I know is that
I am trusting CNN reporting.
I had the flu, so
forgive me.
But what happened was I got sick. I felt better. I got sick. I felt better. I got sick. I felt better. Some flus hit you that way. The flu is a virus.
So
it's not just one flu. There's multiple kinds of flu.
No, I mean, I get that. That's what I'm saying. And that, one thing that really frightens me is if I'm right, because I have a problem with being an alarmist. Is if they create this universal flu that they're talking about creating, they could create something horrific.
Who's trying to create a universal flu?
The UN or something like that?
Are we doing
the
conspiracy
CDC
theories right now?
The CDC is actually it's in the news. They're trying to create a universal flu, a vaccine for the flu.
A universal vaccine for the flu. Well, okay. I mean, there's no universal vaccine for humans.
Well, I don't know what the other is.
Not
That's
universally. You shoot one person, that's not universal.
Nuclear winter across the world.
People can survive it.
An asteroid the size of Mars.
Okay, well, nothing survives
Super
that.
freaking nova. A solar flare.
There's solar flares all the time.
That hits us. Or passes enough to rip the ozone layer away and basically leave us dormant into space. Or leave us, to this mercy of space with
the
no
views
atmosphere.
of Jack are not necessarily views of Vanishing Gates or anyone with an education past high school or the internet.
You don't know that about solar flares? That's one of the fears they have, is if one hits us close enough and it passes, it could tear the freaking atmosphere away with it.
Did you see the super blood moon?
Killing us. Yeah, I saw that. Wasn't that the other day? 2 days ago? La Luna del
That's pretty
Cacciatore.
awesome. What?
La Luna del Cacciatore. The
When
Hunter's Moon.
the moon hits your eye like a big pea.
This is from AVP, Alien vs. Predator. That's where I learned that saying.
You know, the last time that moon happened was 150 years ago?
Really?
Yeah, so AVP wasn't around then. You're not talking about the same thing.
Shut up.
A blood moon is what you're talking about. This is a super blood moon. It was pretty.
A super? Did it go super? Did it get glowing yellow hair?
It was super, thanks for asking, and it bought its coat at Murph's.
Was it over 9,000?
I don't know what you're talking about anymore.
It was over 9,000. And it had a glowing yellow hair. It became Super Saiyan Moon.
Sailor Moon?
Super Saiyan.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z. Gotcha.
Super Moon. Got it? Sure.
Oh, let's go back to the abomination that is Monster Hunter World. Don't play that game. Don't waste your money on that stupid ass game. Just don't.
I can't, our brother keeps trying to get me to play the Xbox. I can't even bring myself to turn it on.
You need to join us,
So
dude.
shit.
MXCP for life, bro.
Such a shitty system, dude.
No, it's not. You're a jackwagon, Jack.
Controls suck. The system sucks.
No, it doesn't.
It just sucks.
No, it doesn't.
It sucks. I own both, and I'm usually impartial.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you have not been impartial since you got a freaking Dreamcast.
I never had a Dreamcast.
You and Jesse.
It was his birthday present, not
No,
mine.
it was a joint birthday present because both your birthdays are in
way.
August. It was a joint birthday present. He hogged it, turned it upside down because he didn't believe it burst into flames, and guess what happened? Fire! It was glorious. Glorious fire.
I don't know what you're remembering, but
The Dreamcast actually burning up because it was turned upside down.
yeah, I don't remember that.
You don't remember a lot of things.
No, I remember playing Tenchi.
You don't remember a lot of things. Like, you don't remember the Challenger blowing up?
No. I remember
See?
when Led Zeppelin had a #1 hit on the top.
Ever.
Oh,
Never.
right.
Not once. Not even once.
I don't remember the birth of Leonard Skinner.
Or the death of Jim Croce.
I don't remember the birth of Betty White, even. I mean, I remember.
I don't think Betty White remembers the birth of Betty White. You know what? 10 out of 10 would bang. Betty White would probably.
Betty White, you want to get on the show? You can go ahead and just
Betty,
let us know.
When I say total Betty, I'm talking about you, baby.
Please stop hitting on Betty White on our show.
Stop trying to hit on fucking Vin Diesel and fight him. Will you stop trying to fight Vin Diesel on our show, please?
Okay, so The Rock has a movie called Skyscraper coming out.
I want to talk about the other one that he has coming out.
Hold on.
Rampage World
He has
Tour.
a movie called Skyscraper coming out. And the poster that he posted was of him jumping from a
crane
into the window.
skyscraper.
And I'm not going to say... Hold on.
Not
I'm not,
into, but at
Hold
the
on.
window.
I'm not going to say who posted the response. That was hilarious. But the response was, and I quote, "He misses the jump. It was a short film." And The Rock responded with, "Stop giving spoilers."
The other guys.
Stop giving spoilers.
Hey, aim for the bushes. No, like, okay, so I am excited about his film Rampage. It's coming out.
I will give one more survival thing that you need if you have a friend out there.
This should be great.
And it was taught to me by what was it? Without a Paddle. Good movie. Seth Green and some other guys I don't remember. And that is, if you have a friend with you, remove your shoes if you can run faster, and then knock them over, because you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun them. That's the trick.
Don't remove your shoes, though. It's a terrible idea.
I run faster without my shoes, even in the woods.
No, not in the woods. Your feet are soft and cushiony. And
not mine. I walk on rocks. I don't wear shoes. I wear shoes. I usually wear sandals, but other than that, I walk on like cement and stuff like that without shoes on.
We are going to do a fire walk competition barefoot here pretty soon for Vanishing Gates, and we're just going to use Legos.
Oh, God.
Yeah, bitch, I win. So, no,
can we just walk on fire instead?
Okay, so let's talk about Rampage.
Let's walk on real
Let's talk
fire.
about freaking Rampage, because honestly, I saw like they're making a Rampage movie. And guys, if you don't know, if you're not old enough to know,
wait, the game Rampage
World Tour. Remember that? We used to rock that shit.
They're making a movie about Rampage.
Yeah, they made it. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be garbage. And I shared this in MXCP. My gaming group, guys, if you don't know, check us out. We're cool guys. We're really, really offensive. So if you're easily offended, probably don't check us out and hang out with Jack.
Actually, that's pretty much. You know what? I for all of my hatred of trying to be, it's not actually hatred. It's my disdain for political correctness and just being like friendly and not saying anything mean. If you were to play with me, I don't say anything mean.
Which is hard.
You might hear me cuss a lot, but I don't usually like say anything too mean or racy. I'm usually just like,
not so angry, but he cusses a lot.
I am
it's
funny.
Like a rap
Thank
song.
You very
you
much.
Should do your own cover of that.
Playing with me is hilarious, but it's rarely ever offensive. Because I just don't have anything offensive to say.
That said, if you try to game with me, you'll probably never watch this show again.
Yes, please don't game with them ever. Don't join MXCP.
Or if you have a good sense of humor, do.
If you could stand horrible things, join MXCP.
If you want to see the worst of the worst, but the best of the best.
I have heard some horrible things. One time I've been in MXCP's chat room, and I have heard some new horrible things. To which I was sitting there going, holy crap.
You think we're rude on this show? You should hear us when we don't censor ourselves.
And here's the thing.
So, but I do want to get back to Rampage, though, because this is a big deal for me. Because that game, you played it with me as a kid, and our brother played it with us. That game's awesome. You're basically giant monsters who go and tear up cities. Do you remember the time we found our town in that game? Because what it would do is it would randomly cycle through towns.
I don't remember that.
You don't ever remember when we finally hit Eureka? Okay, so...
You know how old I was when Rampage came out?
Yeah. So the game would cycle through towns, and you'd basically be two monsters tearing the towns apart, eating people, tearing up skyscrapers, hitting helicopters and stuff. So when I saw there's a movie being made about it, I'm like, what the fuck?
What could you possibly make that out of?
How the fuck are you going to make this a movie?
What is the plot line?
And then I saw the trailer. Have you seen the trailer yet?
No.
And I'm like, okay, never mind. You know what? I got this. This is cool.
You know what it's going to be?
Don't fuck it up. I'd be pissed.
You know what pisses me off? Actually, I want to talk about something. I loved Pacific Rim 1. It had no plot line that I cared about. The graphics, the imaging was great. The CGI was amazing. The robot battles were wicked.
Idris Elba was in it.
It was. Oh yeah, I love Idris Elba.
So do I.
I love
him. He's a beautiful.
One of the. I swear to God,
beautiful man.
That man could be my godfather.
I mean, that guy is a gorgeous British man.
That is true. Amazing actor.
Sexy.
You know what?
His voice is just.
I don't even know if.
Succulent.
Here's the thing. I don't even know if Idris Elba's
I'm not into dudes, but.
Oh, you bet. I don't even know if Idris Elba is an amazing actor. I just know that when he's on screen, I'm like, keep talking, bro. Keep going.
Keep talking, baby.
Just go. Just don't even say anything. Just give me one of those looks. Just look at the camera with that mad face. Like
he's the only reason that stupid Dark Tower movie worked at all.
Oh my god. I hate Matthew McConaughey.
Hey, you know what though? McConaughey was good in that movie.
He was a shitty Randall Flagg, from what I heard. He was a shitty Randall Flagg.
I've actually read the series, and the movie was absolutely nothing like the first book, The Gunslinger, but also like all the books crammed together, but also not. But that's kind of how Stephen King wrote it, though. It's multi-dimensional. Spoilers.
Here's the thing.
He did good.
Here's a spoiler
in that movie.
If you want to watch a great Stephen King movie, watch The Stand. It has Randall Flagg in it. It actually explains part of his story, and you'll hear me say mayhaps every once in a while and stuff like that, and that's because I'm quoting.
About this, though. I think we talked about the Stephen King universe, how all the characters seem to blend in together. He likes to do that. You know, yeah, we've gone there because Stephen King is not that imaginative a guy.
No.
I don't mean to be rude. He's a great writer.
He has one of my favorite quotes of all time. I have a child's heart in a jar on my desk.
My favorite quote was his co-author was cocaine. Yeah.
Stephen King, I prefer.
So the guy hit with the van.
Hold on, I hate to say this.
He bought the van and had it destroyed. The guy is scared of the dark.
Oh yeah, he's afraid of the dark.
Which it makes sense. If I was Stephen King, I'd be mortified of the dark.
Here's the thing.
I'm not making fun of Stephen King. If you're watching this, I love you.
I absolutely prefer Anne Rice over Stephen King. I read The Regulators when I was like 13 years old. Great book. Desperation is what I read actually when I was 13. Regulators I actually read when I was about 16. Rice, I was kind of like,
you cannot compare Anne Rice and Stephen King.
I used to like. Okay, so the way I grew up.
We're gonna do this again. We've done this once already.
So what I read when I grew up was I read Desperation, Regulators when I was about 15, and then I read what was it? The Langoliers, and then the other one with the aliens. It was Tommyknockers. Those were great books. I love them, but I prefer Anne Rice because I like the Vampire Lestat series. That's what it is.
You just like Tom Cruise.
Actually, I hate that movie.
It was a horrible movie.
I don't like that movie. I've never.
Kirsten Dunst was in it.
To date, and she was 7.
And yeah, but she was in it. She was the best part of that whole film.
She was actually really good. She was a good child actor.
Okay, so that movie was a masturbatory aid for Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, basically. It was those guys going, "Hey, let's do a movie together so we can jerk off later, watching ourselves on film."
That's awkward. Anyways,
that's what it seemed like. That movie was garbage. Almost as good as Queen of the Damned.
Oh god, don't even mention that fucking movie to me.
Rest in peace, Aaliyah. Wasn't that her name?
I wish she could come back so her plane could crash again. Anyway.
No. That's... What?
Everybody involved in that movie. Everybody involved in that movie. I want everybody involved in that movie to be on that plane with her, and I want it to hit the mountain once more. And then I want a Donner Pass situation to happen where none of them make it. Because fuck that movie and anyone involved with it. You all suck.
No.
None of you are good people.
Stop it.
I hate you all.
There's nothing good about you or anything you do. That's horrible. How can you fucking say that?
Because I'm a bad person.
She was in the prime of her life.
You know what I have to say about this?
She could have gone further. She could have made a sequel.
She went to the further. You're right. Maybe she will be in a sequel of another movie. So, look.
Really, dude? You can't wish death upon people except for that gym coach guy.
I wish that dad had gotten him.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like,
great.
I was like, hey, bailiffs, maybe. I said, hey, I think from now on in situations like that, bailiffs should have MMA rules. Where the guy gets at least, as soon as they hit the ground for amateur, you get at least 60 seconds on the ground with the guy.
You get at least 60 seconds
before they break it up.
60 seconds.
I'll tell you what though, hey, good on that judge for not fucking.
Oh yeah, I'm glad she let him go.
Hey, you know what though? But she was also like, she told the guy, hey, I'm glad I get to sentence you to death. Basically, that guy's a piece of crap.
I have to get going.
Oh, suddenly, you gonna start all this nightmarical stuff with saying Aaliyah should have died in the plane twice.
That movie was trash. That's
Doesn't
how much
mean
I
she's
hate
a horrible
that movie.
person.
Anyone involved in that movie? Okay, all right, fine.
Retract.
I retract. I wish that no one had died over that, but I do wish her career died.
I don't think she died
she was alive.
over that. I think she literally died in a plane.
She did.
Literally. In a plane.
You know what's funny and ironic? She beat the ambulance to the crash site really quick. Thanks, Ron White.
God damn it, Josh. Jack.
I'm a horrible human being.
Yeah. That was bad.
This is what 3 hours of sleep and 10 hours of work look like. I turned into a bit of a dick.
Guys, I'm so sorry for this. I mean, he means it or he wouldn't say it.
You know, this is actually, in all honesty, I don't actually mean it. I'm just trying to be funny, but I'm not really that funny.
No, you meant that, or you wouldn't have said that.
Okay, I do. You know, try to be fucking nice and retracted, okay?
No, too late. You've already crossed that threshold into hateful rhetoric, which is fine because that's what we do here at Vanishing Gates. We offend. We are the dumbasses of the paranormal.
We are your assholes with paranormal.
We are not the guys you'd want to take home to your parents of the paranormal.
We're what happens after everybody's done with all the good stuff, and then you get to us.
Yeah, we're like that leftover. We're like the last
we're the trash
fry.
heap.
We're like the little fry. Like you're gonna eat it because it's there. It's crispy, but it doesn't have a lot of flavor, and it still insults you.
Yeah.
It's not.
But you always eat it.
At, but you still
always eat it.
That's us.
No
We're
matter
the
what.
bottom fry of the unexplained.
We are the bottom
So,
fry.
if any of you parent squatches are looking to find a mate for your squatch daughters, look somewhere else. You don't want her to take us home.
Nope. Don't want to take us home to your parents ever.
No.
Also, I'm married, so that's not.
I'm not. Well, I mean, do you think squatch are not polyamorous?
Look, I'm not polyamorous. So
do you think that squatch have this social construct as humans do? You don't think that
I'm not
squatch
fry
are any more
pansexual, so I don't know. Okay, I don't love kitchen utensils. It's just not me.
You could hook up with a dolphin. Dolphins are pretty polyamorous. They're almost as smart as.
They're one of the few animals. They're a mammal that actually rapes things. You know that? Thanks for saying that. Now you brought that up.
I'm aware.
All right, I gotta get going.
With that, really, bro? Like that? That's with the dolphin rape. I gotta leave.
Welcome to the horrible things that I say. Just this is the moment where Vanishing Gates gets to see me be horribly unprofessional.
Yeah, because I do that enough for both of us. Usually, you could have calmed your tits a little bit, bro.
No, I'm going full hog until we do what I want to do.
Hog. It's alright. On MXCP, when I said share the page, I asked if we should do it nude or with tassels. Do you want to guess the overwhelming majority?
That was
a
100% yes.
They said nude. Guess what? I wasn't gonna do nude. Not on this show.
You never know.
Not with this guy. I mean, I would.
I mean, I got something going on here. I got something going on. What? You know you want to see it. You know you do. All right. You gotta get going though. Sorry for my offense. Not sorry, actually. No, I'm really not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Anyway, hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Thanks for watching Vanishing Gates After Hours. This will not be aired on our YouTube channel probably because I have enough issues.
We don't want to get banned.
Eventually, we'll talk about Rampage, the movie, when it comes out, because I'm really excited about that. It does actually look really good, and we love you guys very much.
In the
face.
Took it.
I'm Jay.
Still it. I am the horribly currently offensive Jack. Goodbye, everybody.
No, you gotta do it different. You gotta do it right.
Goodbye, everybody.
No, not high pitched enough.
Goodbye, everybody.
No, like you just had a makeout session with Vin Diesel.
Goodbye, everybody.